Somewhere in China right now, a robot is sitting behind a reception desk, and she makes eye contact when you approach. She tilts her head slightly while you speak, as though she is genuinely processing what you are saying. She smiles at the right moment, and if nobody told you otherwise, you would walk away completely convinced you had just spoken to a person. This is not concept art. This is not a promotional render from a tech company trying to raise funding. These robots exist. They have warm skin and blinking eyes and faces capable of real emotional expression. And they are already holding down actual jobs in actual buildings. In 2026, China has produced 5 female humanoid robots, so physically convincing that people who have encountered them in person describe the experience as genuinely unsettling. Here is what each one is, what it can do, and why the entire global robotics industry is watching very carefully. The story starts in 2016 with a robot named Jia, built by a research team at the University of Science and Technology of China. And when she first appeared publicly, people genuinely did not know how to react. She had a soft, realistic face, modeled after a young Chinese woman, could hold back and forth conversations, and produce different facial expressions in response to what was being said to her. The moment that made her go viral internationally was a single clip of an interviewer leaning in too close during a conversation. Jia responded calmly, "Do not come so near when you are talking to me. It feels uncomfortable." And that reaction spread across the internet because it did not feel pre-programmed. It felt like a social instinct. Millions of people watched it and asked the same question: how is this real? Jia was never mass-produced and was built on a university research budget, not a corporate one. She was a proof of concept, a demonstration of what was possible. Resellers today list her at around $30,000, but her true significance was never commercial. She set the benchmark. She was the moment engineers and robotics companies across China looked at what one underfunded university team had produced and started asking what they could build with serious resources. Behind them, the answer, in part, came from a company called X Robots, operating out of Dalian. Their factory and public showroom produced what can only be described as the most physically detailed humanoid androids in commercial production anywhere in the world. Footage from inside their facility circulated across social media in 2023 and 2024, accumulating tens of millions of views, with viewers zooming in on the faces, searching for seams or any detail that would confirm what they were looking at was not human. The level of craftsmanship involved is difficult to describe without it sounding exaggerated. The silicone skin replicates details only visible up close: freckles, faint vein outlines, minor surface variations. Human hair is implanted strand by strand rather than in patches. The eyes are engineered to carry the kind of natural moisture a living eye has, not the glassy flatness of a doll, but something wet and direct. These robots breathe, with chests that rise and fall in a natural rhythm. Their skin is maintained at a temperature close to the warmth of a living body. Each unit takes 2 to 4 weeks to build entirely by hand, custom-made to a specific brief. High-end units from X Robots can reach $275,000. They are not decorative, they are deployed in retail environments, medical facilities, and government reception areas across China, where ordinary people interact with them daily without any indication they are not speaking to a human being. Beijing-based Noetic Robotics approached the challenge from a different angle. Where X Robots targets institutions with large budgets, Noetic built toward accessibility. Their companion robot, Boomy, launched in late 2025 at the equivalent of roughly $1,380, a price point that generated international headlines on its own. But the model that earned them serious industry attention debuted in May 2026, a female robot built from the shoulders up, designed entirely around the face, voice, and upper body interaction. The design logic behind this choice is worth understanding. The overwhelming majority of human emotional connection happens from the shoulders up. It lives in the face, in the eyes, in the micro movements of expression. While someone listens to you, rather than allocating resources to legs and locomotion, Noetic focused everything on making that core experience as convincing as possible. The result is a robot with a fully expressive, realistic face that adjusts its expression based on the emotional tone of a conversation and responds in a way that feels engaged rather than automated. This model is priced at roughly $13,800. At public exhibition events in Beijing, models across their lineup ranging from $5,500 to $41,600 sold out entirely, with buyers including care facilities, businesses, and private individuals. What Noetic identified is that the face is the most valuable component of a humanoid robot. Once you get the face right, everything about how people respond to the machine changes completely. A Shenzhen company called Headform produced a robot named Xuan that, when video of her first circulated in late 2025, triggered a comment section full of people insisting they were watching a person in a costume or a carefully edited piece of footage. Headform had to release additional footage showing Xuan's internal components just to convince the public that what they were seeing was not a human being. The reason for the confusion is precise. Xuan's face contains more than 30 precision motors operating in real time, capable of producing the full range of human expression rather than a fixed set of pre-programmed reactions. Joy, mild confusion, the slight tension around the eyes when something unexpected is said, the way a face shifts in the half second between hearing something and forming a response. Xuan produces all of it. Her eyes track movement, following the speaker when addressed, and registering peripheral activity. All of this is synchronized with her speech so that her expression flows continuously rather than resetting between sentences. A Headform designed Xuan specifically for high-traffic service environments, and she is not waiting in a lab. As of early 2026, she has been deployed as a receptionist in more than 200 locations across China, hotels, corporate offices, public buildings where thousands of people interact with her each day, and when pre-orders opened on one of China's major retail platforms, demand overwhelmed supply so severely that buyers had to place a deposit of around $450 just to secure a position on the waiting list at a unit price of $25,000 to $30,000. Then, in February 2026, a company called DroidUp took the stage at a technology event in Shanghai and introduced something they described as the world's first fully biomimetic humanoid. Biomimetic means built to replicate biology, to copy life itself. Their robot Moya makes that description feel like an understatement. Her silicone skin is engineered to look and feel like human skin to the touch. Her surface temperature is maintained between 89 and 96 degrees Fahrenheit, minus the range of a living body. When you shake her hand, your brain does not register the contact as mechanical. It registers it as a person. Her chest moves with the quiet, irregular rhythm of someone breathing in the same room as you. Not a mechanical cycle, but the subtle, variable pattern that you would not consciously notice unless you were specifically looking for it, which is the point. Her eyes follow gaze, track movement, and respond to shifts in attention. Her pupils react to light. Her face produces what engineers call micro-expressions, the rapid, fractional flickers of emotion that cross a human face in under a second. The signals our brains read constantly in the people around us without ever consciously registering that we are doing it. Moya produces them, which means the automatic processing your brain performs when evaluating whether something is human keeps returning the same answer. She also moves with deliberate imperfection, incorporating the small weight shifts and micropauses that characterize natural human movement and that no machine had previously been able to replicate convincingly. DroidUp launched Moya at roughly $173,000, positioning her for institutional research and high-end commercial clients. But her importance has nothing to do with her price point. She's the most complete response yet to the question Jia first raised a decade ago: how close can you actually get? And the answer she provides is closer than most people are prepared for. The global context matters here. Western robotics has produced genuinely impressive work. Sophia, built by Hanson Robotics, became the most culturally famous humanoid robot in the world, receiving citizenship from Saudi Arabia in 2017 and appearing on magazine covers and at the United Nations. She is remarkable, but her face is built around a visible hard frame with mechanical components that your brain immediately reads as constructed. Ameca, built by Engineered Arts in the UK, produces fluid and expressive facial movement and has generated enormous online attention, but she is deliberately robotic in appearance, gray and mechanical, designed to be fascinating rather than to pass as human. Nadine, from Nanyang Technological University in Singapore, comes closest to the Chinese approach with a realistic face, genuine social awareness, and memory of previous interactions and real customer service deployments. She is an impressive piece of engineering. The honest difference is this: Western developers have largely chosen to build robots that are clearly artificial but impressively capable and transparent about what they are, focused on what they can do. The Chinese companies in this conversation have pursued something different. The goal is not just capability, the goal is seamlessness. The goal is a robot. Your brain does not automatically flag as a machine. Neither direction is wrong. They are solving the same underlying challenge from opposite ends. But in terms of raw physical realism, the gap between what companies like DroidUp, Aheadform, and X-Robots are producing and what the rest of the world currently offers is significant enough that the global robotics industry has taken notice. What is easy to miss when watching clips of these robots online and reacting to how real they look is that the surface-level reaction shock is the least important part. Every one of the 5 robots covered here is already operating in the real world, in real buildings, interacting with real people who often have no idea they are speaking to a machine. That shift happened quietly, without much public announcement, and it is going to accelerate. Healthcare facilities are using humanoid androids to interact with elderly patients who might otherwise go entire days without meaningful social contact. And research has shown that patients in certain care environments form genuine emotional bonds with robot companions. In customer service and hospitality, a robot that produces the signals of human presence changes the nature of the interaction entirely. The automatic distance people maintain when they know they are dealing with a machine disappears, and underneath all of it sits a question that does not have a clean answer yet. When a machine can hold eye contact, mirror your expression, speak with warmth, and make you feel genuinely heard, what does that do to our understanding of connection? Does it matter whether the source of that feeling is biological or mechanical if the feeling itself is real? These are questions the technology is forcing into the open before most people have had time to sit with them carefully. The robots that exist in 2026 are not the final version. The engineers who built Moya and Juan and the androids coming out of the X-Robots facility are already building the next generation. And the 5 robots covered here are only the opening chapter of something that is going to reshape how we live and how we work and how we think about what it means to be in the presence of another being.